Good morning, Knicks Nation. Today is Friday. Happy Friday. It is the 5th day of April 2024. I hope you're safe and healthy today and that your family's safe and healthy and that the needs of you and your family in terms of food, shelter, clothing, as well as health is being met today. Blessings upon those that work in the healthcare field with the first responders who save lives every day, and those also that pick up garbage to keep our places clean, and those that make deliveries for our convenience. Double blessings upon the men and women out here trying to help rescue, deliver, and recover teenagers and children who are victims of child molestation and pedophilia as well as kidnapping. Those also that are victims of prostitution and child prostitution, pornography, child pornography, human trafficking, sex slavery. Double curses on the perpetrators, profiteers, and perverts that run these industries. Finally, double blessings upon the homeless. Nearly 600,000 men, women, children, and families homeless in the United States of America, and millions around the world in similar or worse conditions. Blessings upon them, for theirs is the kingdom. There was a basketball game last night at Madison Square Garden. The New York Knicks defeated the Kings of Sacramento by a score of 120 to 109. The amazing thing, one of the best wins of the season for the Knicks, having gotten the news earlier that day that Julius Randle would not be playing for the rest of the season and going to be undergoing shoulder surgery. But also getting the news that OG Anunoby is ready to come back. Now, early in the game, the Knicks were down 21 points. One of the best wins of the season. Come back from 21 points down and win by double digits. Now, the thing is, at halftime, I'm sure the Kings thought they were going to cruise, come into Madison Square Garden and cruise. I'm sure they thought that. But the Knicks had another thought for them. And so what happened last night was very interesting on several levels. Number one, the Knicks were playing Knicks defense. And it also included the further of development in terms of the comeback of Mitchell Robinson. Very important was he. He did not score a lot of points. In fact, I don't think he scored any. But he did have 5 offensive rebounds. Oh, he scored 2 points. He had 5 offensive rebounds, and his presence on the defense in the second unit was key. Now, the key thing about it, it helped Bodega Bum a lot to play with Mitchell Robinson. And I'm saying the better and more acclimated and more comfortable Mitchell Robinson gets to coming back to who he is as the best offensive rebounder in basketball and one of the best defenders in basketball, the better Bodega Bum is going to play. And last night, it was interesting that Tibbs really went 9 deep. He didn't go 9 deep. He went 7 deep last night. With Precious played 9 minutes, actually, and Burks Bum played 9 minutes. But Bodega and Mitch Rob were in the rotation. 12 for Bodega, 15 for Mitch Rob. That was a nice crew when you had Bodega, Deuce, Mitch Rob, and then you had, who'd you have? Hart and DiVincenzo. Then later you had Deuce get a breather, and Burks actually came in and with Achua, and they also picked it up on the defensive end and gave knife effort on the defensive end. The thing is, again, about the 2 new dudes, the 2 bums we got, is you can play them and you can get some production from them, but some knucklehead got them talking about we need to start Bodega Bum. Y'all need to stop tripping. And some of y'all could please give these people the message, no defense, no bueno. Especially when you're trying to win. What the hell is wrong with some of y'all? Anyway, you could play them and you could get production from them, but don't overdo it. And Tibbs has shown this because you will get what is called diminishing returns. If you don't understand that, please go look up what it means. Diminishing returns. So last night, Tibbs played them both the exact right minutes. And he got the most out of them. Bogdanovich ended up with 12 points, but they were nicely done in the flow. He likes to force bad shots. He still thinks sometimes he in Detroit, but last night he did not. And they played good defense with him on the floor with Mitchell Robinson. And so I feel like this is pretty good. So if you got to play one of them, I still don't know. I'm still thinking it might be Burks, but it could be Bodega. But only one of them going to play when OG comes back. Okay, and I'm still not sure who's going to go into the second unit. I don't know if sometimes I'm thinking it's Deuce, sometimes I'm thinking it's Hart, but really it doesn't matter, although I'm a little concerned because Hart does play better coming off the bench. He's built for it. Deuce is built to start. Like last night, Hart played 43 minutes and Deuce played 43 minutes. Now, Deuce did not shoot the ball well, and he was getting toasted by Fox. But there was nobody else on the team that could guard Fox. And what happened last night, though, is when Deuce wasn't on Fox, DiVincenzo was, and between the two of them, they did the best they could. Fox was on a thing last night. It was one of them, I'm coming to the Garden to show out things. And he came in to try to show out at the Garden. He ended up with 29 points last night, but he wasn't the big factor down the stretch. The Knicks defense was the big factor down the stretch. And I heard even the announcers, everybody's on this narrative. When Brunson's out the game, they can't score. That is BS. The real thing is not how much they score. It's how much they stop the other team from scoring. They will outscore the opponent's bench by locking down the opponent's bench. That's what happened last night. When Mitch Rob and Bodega came on the floor and Deuce was out there, and I heard the announcer say, well, can they score without Brunson on the bench? And as he said that, DiVincenzo hits a three. But it wasn't that. It was the defense was turned up several notches. They got 3 stops multiple times. This is what we're talking about. So now when OG returned, which I'm expecting him Sunday against Milwaukee, if he plays tonight against Chicago, that'd be really good, great. But I'm thinking Sunday against Milwaukee, we get him back. He'll be at the Garden against Milwaukee. I think that is no. That's I think that now we're on that 4-game road trip, if I'm not mistaken. I think we're on that four-game road trip, and I think let me just double check that, make sure we know what we're talking about here. Let's see. So tonight, I know they're at Chicago. Yes, it is a 4-game road trip. So they'll be at Milwaukee on Sunday. So they got Chicago tonight at 8 o'clock at Chicago, at Milwaukee Sunday, back at Chicago on Tuesday. And then they finish this road trip, last road trip of the regular season, at Boston on April 11th. And somebody brought up a good point. Boston done clinched the East. So there's no need for them to bring out everybody to play on April 11th. Especially this would be true of Tatum and Kristaps Porzingis. Why risk losing them for the playoffs, especially Porzingis? So that might be an advantage to the Knicks, who are going to need that win. So right now, as the standings are, the Knicks are with Orlando a half game behind Cleveland. Okay, so they both tied a half game behind Cleveland. Technically, Orlando is ahead of the Knicks because they own the season series. So any tie goes to Orlando. But Cleveland, Orlando, and the Knicks are battling for those 3rd, 4th, and 5th spots. Milwaukee ain't out of the woods yet either. Don't let the Knicks come in there and beat them on Sunday, because now 2nd is still up in the air. Because right now, the Knicks are 2 games behind Milwaukee with 6 games left to play. So every game counts here. And so anything could happen. Now, the way this is looking, the Knicks look like they can finish 4th or 5th in the East. And it doesn't matter in that regard, because that means you're going to either be playing in the first round against the 6th seed if you're the 3rd. If you're the 3rd seed, that's unlikely, but it could happen. If you're the 4th seed, you're playing against the 5th seed. So, and if you're the 5th seed, you're playing against the 4th seed. So it's either Orlando or Cleveland, it looks like, in the first round matchup against the Knicks. Now, it could be Indiana. Indiana is, right at this point, 2.5 games behind the 4th and 5th seed, with, again, 6 games left to play. And so we're going to see how this works out. But it looks like the top 6 seeds in the East are pretty set. Miami and Philly are still in the running for the 6th seed. Miami is now a half a game behind Indiana. Philly is 1 full game behind Indiana. Like I said, every game counts right now. So Cleveland is going to LA to play the Lakers for tomorrow night. And it's a back-to-back. They stay in LA and play the Clippers on Sunday. And in the West, right now, LA is right at this point a half a game from the 8th seed. They're the 9th seed. And they're a game and a half from New Orleans for the 7th seed, and also behind Phoenix for the 7th or 6th seed. So again, every game counts. Whereas the Clippers at this particular point are pretty solid in the 4th seed. They're pretty solid, but that doesn't mean it's over because Dallas is breathing down their necks. And Dallas is in the 5th seed. Again, every game counts. So Cleveland's going to be walking into a buzzsaw right here. See? So this is a good chance for the Knicks to gain some space. Now, the thing is, tonight, Orlando is visiting Charlotte. Orlando spanked New Orleans the other night. I mean, they just plain spanked them. And they had Zion playing. They didn't have B.I. playing, but B.I. is also in the Anthony Ambulance School of Unavailability. But Zion was there. Valanciunas was there. C.J. McCollum was there. Trey Murphy III was there. Herb Jones was there. And they got spanked. Orlando's for real. I thought they were for real earlier, but I thought they wasn't going to be able to sustain what they were doing. I was wrong. Them young boys, Paolo Banchero is that dude. And them young boys are balling. Franz Wagner is that dude. And they balling. So they're going to be here for the duration. So you got Orlando, Knicks, and Cleveland. It's going to come down to the last game of the season. The Knicks right now are in a tough spot in terms of you got the second night of a back-to-back in Chicago after both Deuce and Hart played 43 minutes. But if you listened, as I did, to both Tibbs, Hart, and Brunson last night, they understand. They know what's up. They know it's time to suck it up and ball. And I feel like they're going to do that. So tonight, we got Chicago. I won't be watching the game live. Y'all will. Most of y'all will. But I will see the replay for sure tomorrow night. And then on Sunday, they're in Milwaukee Sunday night to play the Bucks. Right now, like I said, Jew is out for the season, so we can not worry about him. But it was okay. As I mentioned yesterday's video, even before the news dropped, I did a video yesterday. And I said, OG is more important for us right now. And we're getting him back. That's a big one. Because you get OG back, and again, no matter if you put Hart on the bench, you put Devo on the bench, or you put Deuce on the bench, your bench is now uplifted even more with Mitchell Robinson, Precious Achiuwa, Bogdanovich, and whoever, if it's Deuce or Devo or whoever it is, that's who they're going to run. But it looks like Tibbs is going to run 8, and that 8 depends on who's flowing. You know he's going to run Mitchell Robinson, and if it's Deuce or Hart, they're going to run. The question will be, who is it going to be? Bodega? Is it going to be Precious? I think he's going to play that by ear and go as the game flows. But it's probably going to be an 8-man rotation coming into the playoffs, okay? It's going to be an 8-man rotation. So Precious, like last night, Precious got 9 minutes, whereas Bodega got 12. It depends on what's going on. And what was going on last night is Bodega was flowing well with Mitchell Robinson in that second unit, and he was hitting his shots. I think that's a lot what it depends on. If he's hitting his shots and taking good shots, he probably stays in there. If he's throwing up crap like he's in Detroit, he's probably going to sit. Okay, so it depends. But the good thing is we got the options. Okay, and we'll have OG. So this is going to be big for us. The big test is going to be Sunday. We got a test tonight. Every game is a test. So the test tonight against Chicago in Chicago. Chicago is a typical NBA team in that they may not be playoff bound. You know, they are. They're in the play-in right now. They're in the play-in, the 9th seed. So they are in the playoffs. Let me correct myself. But the point I'm trying to make is on any given night, they can either get blown out or they can blow you out. Okay, they're an NBA team. They can either get blown out or they can blow you out. Right now, they are in their last 10, 4-6, but that don't mean nothing. The Knicks are coming here and get business done in Chicago tonight. They need this win. And then Sunday against Milwaukee, it's on at that point. It's on at that point. Okay? I expect OG back for that one. It's on. Okay, and so we're gonna see how that flow. But tonight we gotta get this W. Deuce did not shoot the ball well last night. I said 3 of 10 from three, but he only took 13 shots. That's what I'm saying about McBride. Defense is tough. He was getting toasted by Fox, but anybody that guarded Fox, I don't think anybody in the world would have been able to guard Fox last night. That's the kind of player he is. And he was hitting his threes. A guy with that lightning speed and cat-like quickness hitting threes, what you gonna do? Right? What you gonna do? So Deuce kept the pressure on, and that's the thing about this whole team, actually. Even when they down 21, they not giving up. And they're gonna keep the pressure on. And what happened last night to me is the Knicks defense wore down the Kings. They just kept coming. Deuce kept coming. Just when, Fox thought he had him beaten and dejected, Deuce kept coming. Hart kept coming. Devo kept coming. Brunson kept coming. They kept coming. This is going to be good when it comes time to playoffs. Our teams don't quit. Tibbs has them boys rocking. He let them dogs out, and they don't stop coming. They keep coming at you. And so you just add OG to that mix. Mitch Roberts starting to feel it. I'm feeling excited. So let's get this W tonight in Chicago and then on to Milwaukee. But let's get this W tonight. I'm liking our guys. I hate Friday night Knicks. But let's get this W. Y'all enjoy your weekend. Be safe out there. Shalom.